Oh, welcome back, everyone, to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. It's been a while since I recorded the episode. Been super stressed out over the past week. Lots of stuff. We should have had spring break over the last week, but my school ended up canceling it. So instead, we just had another week of school, and we just had to keep plugging along. And after a certain amount of time, certain amount of stress, it just kind of gets you. I can't imagine people who just have a normal work week where they just work 50, 40 some odd weeks out of the year. No resets really. Maybe Christmas at you get like a day or two off, but that's it. But man, yes, I'm excited to get back into it. I probably won't remember any of the voices, so we're probably gonna have a new set of voices. But I did just see that we made the choice to speak to our grandfather, and that made Stefan and her father not very happy with us. Gave us a lot of valor though, get willpower, and I think my thought process was that hey, let's get a lot of valor now so we don't have to focus on it later. Oh, but what have I been up to? I watched the entire first season of Attack on Titan in less than a day. That was a good time. So yeah, and now I'm here. So let's get back into it. Stop the chitter chatter. Okay. Just a few days into the year, Mayor Egmont, chairman of the Lesser Quorum and owner of several silver mines, made a speech that caused quite a stir in the province. Though a commoner, Egmont had the gall to demand that Megron authorities both enforce and obey imperial law. Year 1140, Egmont's speech. What's the use of the imperial laws if they aren't enforced as they should be? Even today, any Anazote nobleman who gets on the wrong side of the bed can draw his sword and run a commoner through with impunity. These gentlemen may be our rulers, but does that mean they can defy the Emperor's will? Sir Alborn has been appointed to enforce the rule of law in Megra. How come the prefect doesn't see this? We commoners are trying to seize the noble lot and take over the province, but the rule of tradition is a thing of the past. They aren't. They are. This is the age of justice. We must not all be equal in its eyes, but even the nobles and clergy must obey the law. The Megran aristocracy is furious with Egmont and demands that he be silenced, but the rich industrialist has too much money and too much connections to be dealt with so easily. You hear more and more rumors about the secret society of commoners appearing in the city, plotting against noble rule. The gentry feels that Egmont and his peers might be behind this, but they have no proof. At least, for now. The struggle of the common folk to have their voice here and to be, for those perceived weak to still be treated as human, to be respected. It is truly an eternal struggle. Father Leonard, abbot of the Silver of the Tree and leader of the New Believers, supports Egmont and has spoken publicly in his favor. The twins themselves has entrusted the noble estate with the right to rule over the common folk. But rulers must also care for their subjects. The old faith is mistaken. No commoner should be ever forced to suffer. It is for this very reason that the imperial law exists. It is there to ease the people's suffering. May those laws be duly enforced, and may they serve all the people of the empire. Oh, well, the Megra is falling and going towards misery, and we have discontent, and we have a slight tilt towards commoners in power. Okay, political landscape's heating up. The vassal and the lord. Is another day at the prefecture. A secretary peeks into your office with a message from the prefect. There's a new case he wishes you to handle. You put away your quill and walk to Sir Alborn's office. To your surprise, he happens to have another visitor already. There's a graceful figure sitting across from your immediate superior. None other than Octavia Milanitis. Ooh-wee. After all the times you have met her in the capital, you expected that the Archduke's daughter to be brilliantly, lavishly dressed. But her appearance today is modest and formal, with a high-necked dress and a strict bun. However, her demure attire only serves to emphasize her role as a distinguished visitor to the prefecture. You bow to the prefect and the noble Arcanian lady. Octavia offers you a curt greeting, then returns to the conversation you have interrupted. This matter can brook no delay. Baron Elborn, the young judge may well wait outside. That's not. I don't really like that voice for her. What? I can't really do female voices that well. This matter can brook no delay. Baron Elborn, the young judge may wait well outside. Nonetheless, Sir Elborn insists that you come in and take a seat. Worry not, Brante. You aren't interrupting at all. Lady Melanitis, I was scheduled to meet with Sir Brante at this very hour. I regret to inform you that your visit was perhaps somewhat unfortunately timed. Octavia rises from the soft, high-backed chair. The young Arcanian lady now stands tall, elegant, and indignant. You are out of line, Sir Elborn. Archduke Melanitis has graced you with a representative from his dynasty, and you will listen to what I have to say this instant. The Archduke has expressed concern over your matter of governance at the prefecture. You have always been headstrong and eager to infringe upon the freedoms of your own noble estate. But now it appears that you find it acceptable to conduct proceedings against your own loyal subjects. Our dynasty has already seen many loyal nobles of the sword arrested or faced with punishment in court. Where would this lead? Do you mean to enforce your lowly laws against us Arcanians? Do not forget that these laws were written to keep lower-born humans in check. Our lives have always been governed by noble honor and tradition, as well as the blood tie that is our heritage. Our only justice is the court of honor. The only rule above us is the sovereign, the emperor, and the twins. Our only duty is to our kin and our forefathers. My ancestor, Char Melanitis, himself granted the boon of nobility to you humans. It would be most unwise to make me regret his decision of old. In the name of Archduke Melanitis, I demand that you end any and all proceedings against our subjects at once. Sir Elborn acknowledges Lady Octavia's vehement smile with a calm smile, and nothing else. He shows no trepidation, no tremor, nor fear, even though the lady across from him represents one of the Empire's mightiest dynasties. Lady Melanitis, the twins have graced the blessed Arcanian lineage with a boon of long life, yet the world can be quick to change at times. The laws of the Empire now govern the nobles of the mantle, and even the nobles of the sword, along with the common estate. This particular change is not as recent as it might seem. The laws of the Empire are the decrees of the Emperor himself, the twins' chosen supreme sovereign. His laws are his will, which is, as you said yourself, the only rule above us, and that means all of us, from a high-born Arcanian to the lowliest commoner. Presently, the Emperor's representative in our province is overseer Gaius Tempus. Like this prefecture in its entirety, I am simply obeying the overseer's will and the laws of the Empire. Then pray tell me, Baron Elborn, who is your own sovereign and protector? He is none other than my father, Archduke Melanitis. You swore him an oath of fealty and vassalage. It is your duty to follow his every word and will. Or do you wish for the Archduke himself to address you directly? I tell you, cease this harassment of our loyal noble subjects at once. I will not leave until this order is carried out. Why, Lady Melanitis, I'm afraid this is quite impossible. As a servant of the Empire and overseer Gaius Tempus, it is my duty to enforce the law. Now, if you excuse me, Sir Brante and I have urgent matters to discuss. The gaze of the Archduke's daughter is locked with the prefect in a silent struggle. Each expects the other to back down first. But then Octavia suddenly turns towards you. Oh, am I going to have a choice between her or Elborn? And is this going to be the chance for the betrayal? Also, this is just creepy as hell. There's a hand balance. But I believe the young judge has more in him than blind obedience. Surely, you are able to distinguish your rightful claimant from a threat to the province, are you not? Silence responds within the prefect's office. They're both waiting for you to speak. I can support Elborn, which makes him like me a lot more. Gaius likes me more. I can side with Octavia, which gives me justice -1. Or I can diffuse the situation, which gives me... Okay, so this gives me Augustine Elborn just +1. Okay, support Elborn. So, I guess it's basically how much downside do I see of not just, it would probably... I feel like it's good. We have to not get her on our bad side. Like, we have to keep the nobles at bay a little bit in this situation. Like, if we get the nobles against the law completely, it's not gonna come around for us in the future. So I think it does cost me 5 willpower, but I think I'm just gonna diffuse the situation rather. It's obviously I'm not gonna side with her. It's either support Elborn or diffuse the situation, but I really don't want to make an enemy of Octavia, so I will diffuse the situation. You have Lady Octavia's attention now. She may not have shown it in Sir Elborn's presence, but she remembers you from the capital quite well. Skillfully, you take advantage of this connection to reduce the tension. You start by reaffirming her position. Truly, the Archduke has every right to look after his noble subjects. You would never expect an ancient dynasty to abandon the loyal nobles to their fate. Having said that, you shower the Archduke and his noble dynasty with praise, including his brilliant progeny who has deigned to grace the prefect's office with a visit. You casually mention your encounter with Lady Octavia at the fencing tournament in Turna. I have to admit, Brante, for a human, she fought valiantly indeed. I've witnessed some of the best Arcanian sword masters at work, and yet your fighting piqued my curiosity. There's a look of relief on Sir Elborn's face as he watches you converse. Still, you return to Octavia's demands. After all, she did not come here for a small talk. The Archduke's words carry great weight, but sadly, Sir Elborn has no right to decide the matter. After all, he is but a humble servant of the Emperor. Perhaps it would be more prudent to take this matter to the Emperor's overseer, Gaius Tempus, who is also an Arcanian of noble lineage. That's a very smart idea. Just like moments ago, Octavia winces at the mention of Gaius Tempus. The Emperor's brother took away her noble's family right to represent imperial authority in the province of Magra. Still, the Arcanian lady considers your words well before speaking again. To a certain extent. You're right, Parsons Brante. I cannot help but admit it. We Arcanians ought to avoid involving humans in matters of a supreme authority. It is still my wish and intention that Sir Elborn present us with an answer. But if he absolutely must learn the will of Gaius Tempest beforehand, then so be it. But do not tarry too long with your answer, or you risk angering my father. Octavia rises elegantly from her seat. Before she leaves the prefect's office, her eyes rest on you for a moment. She bats her eyes charmingly and addresses you with a gentle smile, and then she is gone. Sir Elborn pats you on the shoulder, content with the outcome of the interview. Unbelievable! I never expected you to be acquainted with Octavia Melanitis. My thanks, Brante. You bought me some time. If you had an interview just now, I'd have to defy the law and end all cases as nobles who serve the Archduke. We'll see what the overseer says about this now. Archduke Melanitis is testing the prefecture with his daughter. Otherwise, he'd have asked me to visit his palace personally. He's showing caution, which means we still stand strong, at least for now. We will continue our service to the law without regard for the outmoded ways of the past. But I digress. This is high politics, and the prefecture still has plenty of cases to resolve. Let's get back to our work, shall we? Man, I like Elborn. Without Elborn, I just hope he doesn't have a secret motive in the back closet. Without Elborn hands you a new case file. You thank the Baron and head back to your office to study it properly. It's time to get back to work. I still have 10 willpower, luckily. That leads us to the next event. Passion. The repercussions of your most recent encounter with the Archduke's daughter, Octavia, soon manifest themselves. A letter bearing the seal of the great dynasty of Milnitis arrives the next day. Inside the envelope, you find an invitation to Caval's Serpent Verda, the Archduke's residence. Visiting the Archduke of Magra himself is a great honor. To decline such an invitation would be an insult of colossal magnitude. You immediately purchase a new doublet in latest fashion and ask Father to lend you a precious family brooch. It depicts the Brante family crest, and the leaves on the oak branch are made of tiny emeralds. Octavia should find it to her liking. Your family cannot help but notice your preparations. Mother watches nervously as you make sure everything is ready for your journey. I wonder if it says passion is going to be Octavia Milnitis trying to woo me to her side, or what if it's going to be the Archduke himself summoning me. That odd invitation has me worried. My son, be careful in the Archduke's castle. You're still of low-born origin. Arcanian attention spells danger to people like us every time. Remember not to displease them, or the Milnitises will grind our family into dust. Ooh, new picture. Come early morning, the carriage takes you away from the border walls of Anazote. It takes you a full day to reach Serpent Verda along the dusty, sun-scorched high road. While on the road, you read notes on Arcadian traditions and rules of etiquette again and again. To preserve your family's honor, you must make the best possible impression. The provincial powers that will be watching you every step. And so will Octavia, with her cunning grin. Only as the sun is about to set do you manage to spot the dark, colossal shape of Castle Serpent Verda, a towering fortification of jet-black stone spread across a peak looming over the bed of a long-gone river. The carriage climbs the narrow serpentine road to the castle gate. Soldiers of the Archduke's guard approach you, and you present them with the invitation. The guards eye you with suspicion, but give the signal to open the gate. You are now inside the walls of the Archduke's castle. You'd expected to see many carriages of other guests beyond the gate, but the courtyard is strangely empty. The guards show you a servant who guides you to a room reserved for guests, and leaves you there to wait. It's a special invitation. This is not a party, anything of the sort. The servant soon returns, and you follow him through the dimly lit corridors of Serpent Verda, lavishly adorned with silver, emeralds, and weapons of war. The castle is silent. There is no noise, no music. It seems completely uninhabited. The sound of your footsteps is smothered by the soft velvet beneath your feet. The servant stops in front of a pair of massive doors made of black wood. This is your destination. He gestures silently. You enter an enormous room. Its walls covered in portraits and ancestral relics. In the very center of the room is a towering throne carved of black wood. Upon the throne you see the delicate silhouette of Octavia Milnitis, clad in a black velvet dress embroidered in silver. With a commanding gesture, the Arcanian lady bids you approach. You're here, at last. Aren't you surprised, Parsons? How odd! You didn't think my father would actually summon you to Arcadian Castle, did you? Are you truly that naive? How sweet of you. No, it was I who summoned you here. You are alone in the castle. Portraits cover the wall. Portraits of Arcanians with dark eyes and jet black hair. They all resemble birds of prey, and their eyes seem to watch you with contempt that makes you feel uneasy. Allow me to introduce you to the family. This is an human by the nature of Brante. What do you think of him, father? She casts a defiant glance at the portrait of the Archduke Milonitis. Then she removes a glove from her hand and casts it at it well. It hits the great Archduke right in the nose. Octavia laughs at that, and the tall walls and innumerable portraits echo her voice. Baffled, you ask Lady Milonitis why she has summoned you. Because you have caught my attention, let's say. I noticed you, even when you were somewhat younger than you are now. And now I've started seeing you again and again. I've caught myself thinking about you quite often. And so I've decided that I wish to possess you. You will become my companion. Other humans will envy you, but no one will dare to cross you. My name will open any door you like. In return, you will satisfy my every whim, and I will do with you as I please. Octavia rises from the throne, the hem of her dress lifting up to reveal her elegant, slender leg. You know the history of this throne, yes? My ancestor, Char Milonitis, used to sit here during the rebellion of Magra. Can you imagine that? Char Milonitis made decisions that transformed the entire empire, all from this very seat. And now is gathering dust in this vainglorious art gallery of my father's. Now, come to me, human. Octavia waits for you to do her bidding. One does not argue with Arcanian. Since the dawn of the Empire, they have taken whatever they wanted. If you refuse Octavia to the Archduke of Magra, you insult her greatly. If you submit to the Arcanian woman, if you become her playthings, everyone will know you are in the good graces of Lady Milonitis herself. As a human, what more could you possibly dream of? You recall your chance encounters with her, from the days of your youth to more recent times. What are your feelings for the exceptional Arcanian lady? And what does she truly want from you? If you're willing to enter into a perilous romance with Octavia, perhaps you could do it on your own terms, returning her affections while keeping your honor. Would she defy all traditions of old for you and recognize you as your equal? If only in secret? Octavia arches her back on their father's throne and waits you, her slender hand beckoning you closer. So we can just accept her. You will do all as Octavia wishes in return from her favor, reputation +1. Octavia Milonitis is my patron, and she likes me a little bit more. We can you agree to be Octavia's lover, only if she sees you as her equal, which takes willpower. But we grow close. We grow close, or we can reject her. She's scorned. She likes us less. You insulted Octavia mentally and leave the castle. Well, I don't think we can just submit to her, because I feel the Archduke has something, in store with me. At the same time, we've worked up on this the entire time. We are not going to reject her. We're going to, again, cost our willpower, but we are going to insist on being treated as her equal. You give Octavia your answer, looking her straight in the eye. You have been in love with her ever since you were young, enchanted by her beauty and grace. Every chance encounter a treasured memory. And you know that feeling is mutual. To you, there's no greater honor than Lady Octavia's affection. But you cannot sacrifice your honor as a nobleman for the sake of this love. You don't mean this as an insult. On the contrary, Lady Milonitis is far superior to you. It is true. Yet you, too, are of the noble estate, and you cannot accept humiliation, even if you must face the full extent of the Milonitis' desire. You will reciprocate Octavia's affection, not as an obedient plaything, but as a man and a noble. Your impassioned speech ends, and you steel yourself to face her wrath. But to your surprise, Octavia seems lost in thought, her eyes downcast. Nobody defies me. I'm not used to this. You are a remarkable human indeed, Parsons Brante. I've noticed this ever since we first met. Your words echo in my heart. You do not follow the usual rules. Any other man would have been groveling at my feet by now. Perhaps you could be my escape from this stifling, sickening world. So be it. I choose a human as my lover, and I care little for what the aristocracy of this twins-forsaken province has to say about it. I'll take this as far as I like. But you will be safer if our affair remains a secret to the world. Now come to me, my sweet human. You draw closer to Octavia on the throne. She reaches out for your face, caressing it gently and carefully, as though touching a human for the first time. A moment passes, and suddenly her arms wrap around your neck, and her legs lock around your torso as she pulls you closer to her with all her might. You do not resist the Arcanian's assault. Her embrace leads you to the throne. Am I gonna bang the Archduke's daughter on the throne? What a move! What a move! So, how do you like the seat of the great Charamilnitis? Just a piece of wood, don't you agree? Uncomfortable, too. But, luckily, it's spacious enough for the two of us. Octavia's ravenous lips find yourself on her as her hands... Wait, I'm gonna start that over. Octavia's ravenous lips find yours as her hands free you from your fashionable attire. Her entire body shivering with excitement. You caress her skin, tender and azure. You commit her to memory, studying her, trying to understand her. Octavia's eyes are as dark as the starless sky, sparkling with the light from the sweet transgression. But why does she seek this pleasure with you? Why does she humiliate her ancestors in her very dynasty by having an affair with a human? Well, she seems to be quite disgruntled with it by saying twins forgotten province and whatnot. So she seems to be, although complicit in the order, not fundamentally, like, complacent in it. I just use complicit and complacent. But, you know, she's not fully accepting of it is probably a better way to say it. Seeing you preoccupied, Octavia gently pulls your head up by the chin. She kisses you passionately, and her lips start moving down your half-naked body. Her inhuman passion swallows you and overtakes you, until the vast throne room of the Milanese dynasty echoes with the last of her ecstatic moans. Then there is silence, save for the sound of your heavy breathing. Octavia caresses your back slowly, playfully pushes you off the throne. The Arcanians watch you from the fortress, their faces as dispassionate as ever. Octavia now returns to you at dawn, now wearing a modest black dress, her hair in a formal bun. It is time for you to leave, Parsons. The Archduke will return to the castle soon. I will visit Antidote now and then again. Several estates there belong to me. We will meet there, safe from prying eyes. You leave Serpent Verita with your head spinning and your heart racing. The day takes to turn to Aniso passes like a single moment. When your family asks you about your visit to the Archduke, you evade the question. From that day forth, your heart aches sweetly, yearning for Octavia's letters. And when it's time for a brief tryst, the two of you disappear to one of her estates and give in to your secret passion. There are days when your love and your lover seem but an illusion, something gone forever. But soon another note arrives, and the affair continues, only to be cut again short for an unknown time. You have stolen the heart of the most beautiful and highborn Arcanian lady of Magra. Only one nagging thought casts a shadow on your love. What will be the price for this insolence? Wow. So I wonder if if this event happens as long as you side with her, or you choose the option I did, or if it's only choose the option I did. Interesting. We get sympathy +2, and we have grown close. And we only have 5 willpower. That's a little concerning, but an affair with Octavia. You've started an affair with the daughter of the Archduke Milonitis. Hell yeah, we have. We literally banged her on the throne. Well, that is such a Chad move. I'm really quite the bro. But now we continue on after our ecstasy trip. Your home has been much more peaceful for the last year. The fights between Stefan and Gloria are not as fierce now. But how long will this last? Your job takes up all your time. You see your parents and siblings less and less often. Sometimes you don't even know what they're doing while you deal with the constant stream of duties. This morning, you head out on an urgent business. You take one step out of the gate and run into an uniformed gendarme. Passage, Brante. Your presence is requested at the prefecture dungeon. Taken aback, you ask what this is about. We have your brothers Stefan and Nathan Brante in a cell. They were arrested last night at the Steiner's Inn. They asked us to send for you. What the hell did they do? The cells in the prefecture dungeon are cold and damp. The guards lead you to the bars, and behind them you see Nathan cuddled in the corner. Your younger brother is unshaven, more disheveled than usual, and reeking of wine and filth. Near the cell you see Stefan grimly sitting in a chair. You guess that the gendarmes thought it best not to put him in the same cell as his lone-born brother. Yeah, he probably would have beat the shit out of him. Upon seeing you, Nathan lets out a whimper, and Stefan cracks a bitter smile. The sheath on your brother's belt is empty. Now you are at last, persons! I've lasted our younger brother. Yesterday he got drunk in the company of some dubious fellows. They're commoners, yet they dared to surrender to pleasure. They started a brawl, wrecked the inn, and harassed the waitress. As soon as I heard, I rushed to save this drunkard from shame. Nathan cowers in the corner, horror-struck. I walked out and demanded that Nathan come with me, but his cronies wouldn't let him go. I will never forget Stefan's voice. This is my favorite. That is true. You just grabbed me by the collar and dragged me after you. You nearly suffocated me. Shut your mouth, cur! So, brother, they seem to have some sort of sect. They shouted defamations against the twin gods, and one of them grabbed me by the arm. I was forced to skewer this heretic with my sword. I hope a lesser death will teach him never to lay his filthy paws on a nobleman. He was just talking to you, Stefan. Silence! Then the gendarmes barged in, and here we are. I have been accused of an unlawful murder. Apparently the new laws allow killing a commoner only if it attacks first or yields the weapon. They say that in the event of an insult, I'm supposed to file a complaint with the prefecture. So now they're going to seize my sword for a whole year. What a shame, and it's all your fault, Nathan. Stefan gives the bars a furious kick. Nathan covers his face with his hands in despair. Brother, your only hope. Get me my sword back and get us out of here. And fast. We have to bury the sword in the fair as deep as we can before anyone finds out. Save our family from shame. Oh my god, there's 5 separate. We can either use my authority, which gives justice -1. Use your position to free Stefan and Nathan. Take him to the Inquisition. You arrange for the case to be entrusted to you as an inquisitor and for your brothers. Oh yeah, I don't have that. That was the case. Blackmail the judge, which we need to have the path of the lotless. We can ask father for help. Oh my god. Reputation -1. Unity -1. Or refuse to help. Reputation -2. Shit. I feel like this is the only way out of it. I like reputation and unity, or fucking two reputation. And this one calls willpower too. Wait, that gives willpower +5. But I think I think this is the only option. I can't suffer like reputation. Use your authority. Like it's justice -1, right? But I'm pretty sure we have justice in a very good spot right now, if I remember correctly. Is that the yes? We have justice sitting at 5, which is very good. So I think we can take the hit. You command the gendarmes to give the nobleman Stephen Brante his sword back at once. He has not broken any law and must be freed. As for Nathan Brante, you will personally cover the damages the inn has sustained. There's no reason to keep the son of a noble family behind bars. But your honor, Sir Stefan ran that man through right before our eyes. The law says... You glare furiously at the captain. That commoner, a heretic no less, dared to assault a born nobleman and grab his arm. Or does Lignag claim to know that the law better than Judge Brante? Remembering his position, the gendarme nods obediently and returns Stefan's confiscated score. Damn, dude, this is a tough situation. Because, like, what Stefan does isn't right, but we really can't suffer. I know I could puss out on you, pussins. You're just my brother after all, but a nobleman yourself. You know that my honor is always paramount. Stefan sheathes his sword reverently as Nathan is left out of the cell. The elder brother takes the younger by the scruff of his neck and pulls him to the door. Nathan staggers and shuffles along limply. You manage to conceal the disgraceful occurrence from all of your relatives with the exception of Sir Elborn. The prefect is very displeased with your abuse of power. When he is late, he does not order his nephew Stefan to be returned to his cell. Back home, Stefan starts lecturing Nathan. From now on, there will be no more drinking bouts or other nocturnal exploits. Who are these rogues you've befriended anyway? Stop shaming this family. If you're so worthless, at least let others go about their business in peace. Do you understand, you blockhead? Nathan remains silent, staring despondently somewhere above him. Well, Stefan's going back. Yes, Earlborn. I'm sorry, my dude. We're not down. We're in a good place with justice. And we got our eloquence up even more. We're almost a silver tongue. So. God damn it, brothers. Oh, we're going to have an important religious case now. In the case of Father Mark. Your most recent years of service at the prefecture has seen an increase in litigation on crimes against the church. More and more people are joining the ranks of the new faith in Antidote. The movement began with destitute beggars who had nothing to lose, but for years now, many well-off commoners and new nobles have been joining the fold. People say the leader of the new faith in Antidote is Father Lenart, the abbot of the Temple of the Silver Tree. The city's leaders would love to expel him, but he's too highly regarded by the common folk. Yeah, it would spark a riot. Complaints and cases of defiance of one lot keep pouring in. Every day somebody's reported by their neighbors for heresy. Many commoners, adherents of the old faith, fear that such flagrant defiance of the lots will usher in the prophesied wrath of the gods. However, you and the other judges have no choice but to reject most of these cases. As a secular institution, the prefecture has no authority when it comes to crimes against faith. Only the Church and the Inquisition have any faith here. In the middle of another busy day at the prefecture office, the door suddenly swings open. A tall gendarme wearing an officer's uniform walks in. He tucks his helmet, adjusts his short, fair hair, and bows to you hastily. Captain Lenard speaking, Your Honor. My boys finally caught Father Mark, the dreaded apostate heretic. The prefect told us to take him in to you for judgment. You! Bring him in. I know I changed this guy's voice, because he was in the last case as well. Two gendarmes bring in a short, stout man wearing a worn, dirty priest cassock. Priests wear the sacred symbol of the twins, a cross within a circle, but this man does not. Forced to sit before you, this odd-looking priest is nonetheless strangely undistributed by his unrest. His eyes, curious and glimmering with life, study you intently. This is him, Father Mark of the Flesh, We caught him trying to preach that teaching of his, smack in the middle of a drinking hole for the lowborn in the Grey District. Some guy took offense and called for the gender maze, and we got there right away. Father Mark, you've heard the name ever since you were a child. His cult of rejection of the twins has expanded tenfold over the past several years, with nobles, commoners, and even other priests joining his flock. The Inquisition has hunted down this heretical apostate for years, but Father Mark has always eluded capture. Until now, that is, of course. Some say he has powerful protectors. Here are statements from people at the establishment, Your Honor. You flip through pages of handwritten statements. Father Mark isn't just preaching. He's openly defying not only the lots, but even the twins themselves. Father Mark teaches that the gods have neither design nor purpose for us, so we are under no obligation to serve them or prepare our souls for the hereafter. You put the papers away, ready to question this profane priest. What was the subject of his sermon? What was he trying to convince his listeners to do? Father Mark prefaces his answer with a dazzling smile. As a judge, it is your duty to enforce secular law. You know so well as I do that I have broken so such law. I am a priest, my friend, and in the Empire, priests are allowed to preach. I was preaching the proper way to live one's worldly life, for this is the only existence we have. I told my listeners not to waste their lives serving those gods. The twins surely love us, but alas, their love violates us as much as their law. This entire world is proof of that. I see my words upset you, but I'm afraid you can't judge me guilty for that. Here's why. You see, mine is the priestly lot. If the judgment of the church is to be trusted, which means only the Inquisition tribunal might find me guilty. So, you could hand me over to those black-clad thugs, but alas, you will get absolutely nothing in return. The Inquisition wants to light their pyres in every corner of Anisote, and all they need for that is me. As soon as they get me, the Inquisitors will tell the prefecture to stand inside and start enforcing the law themselves. Is that what you want, my friend? So what are you going to do with me? Well, let's think about it. As a secular judge, you cannot judge me guilty, but giving me to the Inquisition will weaken the prefecture. And so, my friend, everyone would be truly off if you set me free. Trust an old philosopher. It's better for me, better for the prefect, it's better for you as well. Yeah, and worse for the social stability of religion. Surprisingly, the gendarme captain smiles knowingly at his words. He leans over and whispers a few words in your ear. You cannot help but notice the scars all over his neck. I say, the old heretic's right, Your Honor. If he's still got the priestly lot, he's the Inquisition's problem. It's too dangerous for the prefecture to meddle in churchly affairs. And, strictly between you and me, the reports I've been getting are to be trusted. This here Mark's been rubbing elbows with Patriarch Cassis himself. Let him go might get on his good side. And Sir Patriarch's a very wealthy man. But suddenly, the captain's voice trails off as the door to the office opens without warning. There's a young woman at the door, clothed in a black cassock and bearing the telltale silver seal of the Inquisition. Oh my god, it's fucking Jean. I am Sister Jean, Your Honor. I serve the order of the Inquisition. Those stern face, those piercing brown eyes, they somehow familiar. Of course! This is the young acolyte girl from the temple at the Silver Tree. The one you saw during the school visit. She's an inquisitor now. Your man did well to track down and arrest Father Mark. Splendid. We've been hunting this false preacher for a long time. And I'm sure you know, priests may not be judged by secular laws, Your Honor. Mark has denigrated, I have no idea what that word is, denigrated the twins and calls for the people to reject them. He has broken his sacred vows and defied his lot. He will face the tribunal of the Inquisition for his transgressions. The man before you is a great threat to the people of Anisote, Judge Brante. His words lead people astray. His speeches doom them to eternal suffering at the foot of the pillar. Only the church knows the way to end his heresy. You will hand Father Mark over to me at once. Sister Jean remains in the doorway, wordlessly refusing to leave the prefecture without the captured heretic. The gendarmes and the captain stand still, awaiting your orders. Father Mark is lounging in his chair, enjoying himself and eyeing you curiously, waiting for your decision on this contentious situation. We can judge him, which gives us justice +1, career -1, diplomacy +1. Hand him over to the Inquisition, which gives church -1, justice -1, and theology +2, or set him free. Oh my god, it gives me wealth +2? Oh, I have to take it. Like, I would love, like, this is personality scheming greater than or equal to 10. I have to take this. I need the money. I need the money. So, this is the only option for me. I'm also going to grab a water, so I'll be right back. Again, with our earlier decision, though, keep in mind we got Courier up to a reasonable state where we can leverage it to set him free. You tell Sister Jean that regardless of the situation, legal action is required, and legal action takes time. Then make haste, Your Honor. When it comes to protecting the faith, my order will brook no delay. The Inquisitor leaves your office, clearly displeased. You are left alone in your office with Father Mark. He still as calm as before, eyeing you, waiting for you to speak. You admit that Mark, as a priest, has not violated any imperial law with this sermon, and you are no Inquisitor, and thus not qualified to judge the truth or falsehood of his teachings. You are demonstrating a will of your own, my friend. Well done, Your Honor. This is your first step towards freedom. Yours, not mine. Your fellow judges won't understand your decision, but you mustn't let that cloud your judgment. Handing me over to the Inquisition would spark more than a single pyre. The Inquisitors would gladly break every imperial law you have. You have protected the authority of the prefecture. Well done. Although, I can't say you will be free of this predicament anytime soon. But then again, I'm sure one of my many patrons will be happy to soften the blow with a helping of earthly boons. But we have a more pressing matter to discuss right now, don't we? You summon Captain Lanad once again and give him your instructions. Father Mark is to be taken to the prefecture jail and mysteriously disappear from his cell during the changing of the guard at night. It will close the case before then, so there's no need for a mad hunt. Lanad chuckles knowingly and sets off to follow his orders. You fill out the necessary paperwork. No violation of imperial law found. Case closed, you write. Then file the aborted case against Father Mark away in a box. The Inquisition learns of this only days later. Sister Jean bursts into your office, beside herself with rage. You call yourself a judge after this, Sir Brante? How dare you defy the Inquisition? Protecting a heretic like Father Mark shows you for the fool and apostate you truly are. We had him, but thanks to you, the Markian heresy will continue poisoning the souls of those whose faith is weak. Hundreds and hundreds will follow Mark to the foot of the pillar in the hereafter. You will be responsible for their eternal torment, Sir Brante. And rest assured, the Inquisition will not forget this. You return home, exhausted by a long day of threats and accusations. What awaits you back home, however, is a pleasant surprise. A treasure trove of fine wine straight from the cellar of Cassius, Patriarch of Magra. Your servants tell you the wine came with a letter. Sir Brante, please enjoy this wine. Savor your earthly life before the twins snatch it away as well. Yep, we could have went into the old faith, but we're leaning more towards the schism. and it gives us career -1, but we still are a good judge. Oh, that's what we like to see. Moderate means rather than poverty. And we're now a dangerous one. Nice. 13 scheming. That going to be end. That would make sense for an end of this year. Yes, that will be the end of this year. Oh my gosh. And what a year it was. We got in the good graces, one could say, of Octavia Milonitis, securing her allegiance to us rather than groveling at her feet as her plaything. We have made already making a decision with 4 or 5 options more consistently. I think of the one with this Stefan Nathan was the first one with 5, but then again, I bet that wasn't a very hard decision because the other options just sucked, like so hard, and there's no ways you were going to follow through with that. But no, we have recovered our family wealth a little bit. I can't access the tabs right now, so we'll have to do that like in the next episode. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think of my decisions. Would you have done anything differently, or do you agree with my decisions? Which one do you agree with, and why? Or do you agree with my decisions but disagree with the rationale, or anything like that? Let me know. But until next time, see ya.